Today we will discuss different topics related to the codes. These topics are so basic and so connected to the entire CRPC that before jumping into the CRPC, you must have the exact idea about these sections and the content, ingredients of these sections. So first of all, the question that we are going to answer is, what are the classes of criminal codes in India? Second question that we will discuss is, what is the hierarchy of that codes? Hierarchy means which code is superior and which code is subordinate to that code. Next question that we are going to discuss, or who appoints the presiding officers of those codes. For example, High Court. The judge of High Court is appointed by President of India. So we will discuss at length. Next question will be related to the competency of those criminal codes. What do you mean by competency? Competency is of two types. Competency to try means which kind of trial will be held by which court, and which courts are competent to try the offences committed under IPC. Second would be, what is the competency to punish, meaning thereby which court can award what kind of sentence and amount of fine. So these are the 5 topics that we are going to cover in today's lecture. Let's start with the first one. What are the classes of criminal codes? और जैसा कि मैंने आपसे कहा था कि अपना बेयर एक्ट नोटबुक और पेन अपने साथ रखिए, तो आई होप फॉर यू ऑल ऑफ यू हैव योर नोटबुक, पेन एंड बेयर एक्ट विद यू. मैं अपने साथ में अपना बेयर एक्ट रखता हूं और आप मेरे राइट साइड में इन टॉपिक्स को जिसको हम डिस्कस करेंगे वो आप देख सकते हैं. वी हैव एनिमेटेड देम और दीज टॉपिक्स विल बी एट योर स्क्रीन. आप उनको नोट कर सकते हैं, चार्ट बना सकते हैं, सो दैट इट इज़ ईजी फॉर यू टू ऑलवेज मेमोराइज दीज सेक्शंस. Conceptually you should be very strong. So open section 6 and you will see the classes of criminal courts in India. So first of all, high courts. Second would be the court of session. Third is the court of judicial magistrate first class or the court of metropolitan magistrate. Next would be the court of judicial magistrate second class, and next would be the court of executive magistrate, जैसा आप राइट साइड में स्क्रीन पर देख सकते हैं. थोड़ा सा मिसकंसेप्शन होता है. मोस्ट ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स दे थिंक दैट सुप्रीम कोर्ट इज आल्सो अ काइंड ऑफ क्रिमिनल कोर्ट. ध्यान रखिएगा, इफ यू गो थ्रू द लैंग्वेज ऑफ सेक्शन 6 यू विल सी दैट सुप्रीम कोर्ट इज नॉट प्रोवाइडेड एज ए क्रिमिनल कोर्ट. सुप्रीम कोर्ट हैज बीन गिवन द पावर टू ट्रांसफर द केसेस फ्रॉम वन स्टेट टू अनदर. सुप्रीम कोर्ट हैज बीन गिवन द पावर टू डील विद द अपील्स in certain cases, only in certain cases, when the trial is held by High Court. But trial is not held at Supreme Court, and that is why Supreme Court has not been given in the classes of criminal courts. There are so many questions which are being asked directly or indirectly from section 6 itself. So this section should be at your tips, and this section is going to help you while going through the entire CRPC. Next is the hierarchy. अब देखिए, हाई कोर्ट, कोर्ट ऑफ सेशन, द कोर्ट ऑफ जुडिशियल मैजिस्ट्रेट फर्स्ट क्लास, सेकंड क्लास, कोर्ट ऑफ मेट्रोपॉलिटन मैजिस्ट्रेट एंड एग्जीक्यूटिव मैजिस्ट्रेट. उसके बाद अगर हम देखेंगे व्हाट इज द सबऑर्डिनेशन ऑफ दोज कोर्ट्स, एज यू कैन सी ऑन माय राइट साइड दिस इंटायर चार्ट इज गिवन रिलेटेड टू दिस सबऑर्डिनेशन, दैट इज द हायरार्की ऑफ क्रिमिनल कोर्ट्स फॉर योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल देखिए, सबसे पहले जो किसी भी स्टेट में दिस मोस्ट सुपीरियर कोर्ट इज द हाई कोर्ट, दैट इज ऑन द टॉप. Next, every state is divided into different session divisions, and every session division is presided over by a session court, and that is the court of session. Next is the court of chief metropolitan or chief judicial magistrate. Next would be the court of judicial magistrate first class or metropolitan magistrate in metropolitan areas. Next would be the court of judicial magistrate second class. This is the hierarchy of criminal courts in India. Now, if you open section 8 of your Bail Act, you can see the definition of metropolitan areas. Generally, these are the areas which has got the population density of more than 10 lakh. The next topic that is very important for prelims point of view is who appoints the presiding officers of these courts? As you can see on my right side, there's a chart which has been given, and on top there is the High Court. So the judges of the High Court are appointed by the President of India. Next is the Court of Session. The presiding officers of any court of session are appointed by the High Court. This power has been given under Section 9 of CRPC. Under Section 9, the High Court has also been given the power to appoint additional session judges and assistant session judges. Next, you have to open Section 17 of CRPC, which talks about the appointment of Chief Judicial or Chief Metropolitan Magistrate. So the Chief Judicial Magistrate or the Chief Metropolitan Magistrate is appointed by High Court as per the provisions of Section 17. Next, you can see the appointment of Judicial Magistrate. The Judicial Magistrates are appointed by the concerned High Court of that state. To understand this point, you can go to Section 11 of CRPC. If we talk about metropolitan areas, then the metropolitan magistrates are also appointed by the High Court, the concerned High Court. For that reference, you can go through Section 16. Next, which is important for prelims point of view, is the appointment of executive magistrates. Section 20 says the executive magistrates are appointed by the concerned state government. And most of the time, the judicial services aspirants in their prelims exam especially, they tick the incorrect answer to this question. At this point of time, I suggest you to pause the video and read all these sections one by one. The next topic that is very important for prelims as well as mains is the competency of the criminal courts. And the competency is of two types. First is the competency to trial. What do you mean by competency to trial? Competency to try means which court has been given the power to try the criminal cases. And second is the competency to punish. And what is the meaning of competency to punish? It means what kind of punishment can be awarded by which court. Since you know the hierarchy of the criminal courts, you know the classes of criminal courts that we have discussed in this chapter, that we have discussed in this lecture. Now, for this point, Section 26 to Section 30 are very important. And before jumping into the competency to try and competency to punish, I want you to open your Bail Act. I have got my Universal Bail Act with me. Kindly keep this Bail Act with you because this is going to help you in your upcoming lectures as well. You open CRPC and then at the end of CRPC there is a table which is given. So before we jump into the competency to try, you must understand there is a Schedule 1. If you can see Schedule 1, you can see this is the table, and in this table there are few columns which are mentioned. The first column is the section, second column is the offense, next is the punishment which can be awarded under that section. Next column you can see whether this offense is cognizable or non-cognizable. Don't go into the definitions right now. In the upcoming lectures we'll discuss everything in detail. Next is the bailable or non-bailable, which offense is bailable and which offense is not bailable. In the last column you can see by what court triable. Now on my right side you can see there's a pie chart which has been given and everything is mentioned on that pie chart. This is the competency to try. So as per CRPC, there are few courts which can try the cases, criminal cases. First of which is the High Court. Second is the Court of Session. And third is the court which has been mentioned in the first schedule of CRPC. So trial can be held in three types of courts, three classes of courts, criminal courts. First, High Court, second, Court of Session, or third is the court which has been mentioned in the first schedule. Always remember, after 2013 there has been an amendment and the offences of rape can be triable and should be triable by a court presided over by a female judge. Sometimes the question is being asked directly and indirectly. In prelims and in mains, direct questions are being asked about the competency to try. And the next is the competency to punish. This is very important because many questions in many questions in prelims are being asked from this type of charts and this type of sections, and from this topic itself, that is the competency to punish. and it is very important. And in mains, a direct question is being asked, although it is a short answer type question. But at the end of the day, if you have good conceptual knowledge and you are very thorough with these sections, then you will be able to easily answer those. So we go through this entire competency to punish from top to bottom. So first of all, as per the hierarchy of courts in every state, High Court is the superior one. As you can see in the chart on my right side, the High Court can award any punishment that is provided under law, including death sentence, life imprisonment, up to any imprisonment of any duration. And High Court has been given the power to impose any amount of fine. Always remember, any punishment, including death, life imprisonment, any amount, any duration of imprisonment, and any amount of fine. There is no limit for any High Court. Next is the Court of Session. We have divided the Court of Session in 3 different categories. First is the Session Judge, second additional Session Judges, additional Session Courts, and third is the Assistant Session Judges. As per CRPC, Session Judge can award any sentence. Any sentence means, first of all, the amount of fine which can be awarded by a Court of Session has no limit. Second, any imprisonment, including the life imprisonment, can also be awarded by a Court of Session. Now, there is a small doubt in the mind of most of the students, that is, can a death sentence be awarded by a Court of Session? And the answer is yes. The death sentence can be awarded by a Court of Session, but it has to be confirmed by the concerned High Court. Second is the additional Session Judges. Additional Session Judges are equivalent to the Session Judge, and they can award the similar kind of punishment, as you can see on my right side. Next is the Assistant Session Judges. Assistant Session Judges has been given the power to award a maximum sentence of 10 years. However, if we talk about the amount of fine, then there is no limit of the fine that can be awarded by the Assistant Session Judges. Next, you can see the Chief Metropolitan or Chief Judicial Magistrate. Chief Judicial or Chief Metropolitan Magistrate can award any amount of fine. There is no problem, there is no doubt regarding that. But the maximum punishment that can be awarded by any Chief Judicial or Chief Metropolitan Magistrate is 7 years. Next, you can see the Judicial Magistrate First Class. So, Judicial Magistrate can award a maximum imprisonment of 3 years and maximum amount of fine that can be awarded by any Judicial Magistrate or Metropolitan Magistrate is 10,000. Now, if we go to the Court of Judicial Magistrate Second Class, then the maximum punishment that can be awarded by the Judicial Magistrate for Second Class is 1 year, and the fine imposed can be maximum of rupees 5,000. Last but not least is Section 30. So in case a fine amount has been imposed by any of the criminal courts, and that accused or that convict does not pay that fine amount, then in that case another sentence can be awarded, that is related to imprisonment only, can be awarded to the convict. Now the limit of that imprisonment as per Section 30 is 1/4 the sentence which has been already awarded. For example, if Chief Judicial Magistrate or CMM awards a sentence of 5 years and a fine amount of any amount of fine, and that convict does not pay the fine amount, then 1/4 of the already awarded sentence can again be awarded in default of payment of fine. So for today we have gone through so many sections. We have gone through from section 6 to section 30. After completing this lecture, kindly read all these sections. We have skipped the sections which are related to the appointment of public prosecutors and additional public prosecutors. You can do it by yourself. If you have any doubt, you can ask us and we'll try to answer those doubts. We'll try to clear those doubts as soon as. Keep in mind, we are not going through CRPC section by section. It is a procedural law. Try to read, try to pick, try to grab the flow of this procedure. And if you are able to do that, then remembering the sections of CRPC, building your conceptual knowledge and cracking your judicial exams would be pretty easy.